Welcome and congratulations on getting through 3 weeks of our course. We have one more to go. We touched on some very important topics in week 3, and they have a lot to do with that core question at the beginning of the course about how economic value and social value, when those two things that are typically been seen as separate, they come together, lines start to blur, traditional distinctions go away, and it gets a little uncertain. And that uncertainty showed up in how you structure, how you organize with that, what I'm supposed to do as an individual in an organization. So we talked a lot about how organizational structures are changing, the incentives in those structures, the role people play, your own expectations in that role. And then we talked a lot about the skill set you have to be successful in that organizational construct, what it really means to create innovation. And there's a set of competencies and a certain way of being around entrepreneurial thought and action. And we heard some very interesting comments in the discussion boards as well.
Yeah, and I was really struck by one of the comments that was said in terms of the challenge where it feels like it's boiling the ocean. How do you make a decision? It's easy to look at a Patagonia that from day one it was baked into who they are, how they live their values, but not everybody's a Patagonia. So how do you really get that kind of value? How do you make decisions to have the right fit for your company, that you get to commit the resources necessary, that you manage it like an asset, and that you connect it across the business? And I think really what I would say is why we introduced Babson's methodology of entrepreneurial thought and action is because it really has you thinking like an entrepreneur inside. Do small experiments. It's not about boiling the ocean. Try things. Most importantly, socialize it throughout the organization, because you and I have heard many companies tell us how great their programs are, but people inside have no idea what those programs are or what it's doing for the brand or how they're even getting a return on investment. So small experiments, socializing your idea, getting feedback from multiple stakeholders feels a lot more doable than trying to boil the ocean and figuring it out. So use who you are, use those skills, and again, small experimentations are less threatening and feel a little easier than saying we need to come up with this definitive strategy and focus.
And it's a great thing to keep in mind for week 4, that idea of small experiments, because we're going to start week 4 with a conversation about what innovation is and what innovation is not. And you'll hear a lot of a reference to that notion of a lot of small victories, a lot of small issues and characteristics or challenges that you overcome, and that's really where innovation shows up. And so that's going to be a good bridge for us in week 4. And week 4 is going to be a terrific way to wrap up. We've got some wonderful conversation about what innovation really is. We got a great conversation around communications that we're going to wrap up after we've touched on it through the weeks. And then we're very excited about our CEO conversation as well.
Yeah, and thank you all. Those of you who have really added comments have taught us a lot, and we're really getting a sense of what this looks like around the world. So thank you for all your effort, and thank you for being part of the course.
Have a great week.